This is Joe from ArtAlienTV. Now, I'm going to apologise straight away for the whirring sound in the background. That's a fan in here. It's extremely hot in the UK at the moment, and it's unbearable in here without a fan on, so I'm hoping it's not going to ruin the sound too much for you. Now, today I've got some nice new Gigapans to show you from the Perseverance rover. I've got this one here, which is a nice double one, which is Sol 1554, Wreckage, Remains and Statue, and some other weird things. That's a huge one, right? And there's this one, which I've just done, and I'm still searching this, so there's probably a lot I haven't spotted in here so far. This is Sol 1560, not as big as the other, but lots of little interesting things here, close up to the rover. Whereas this one, they're a bit further away, and a lot of the artifacts are ambiguous because they're at quite a distance. And the wreckage was pretty cool in here. There's this object on the ground here, which is really strange. It looks metallic, and it's got a sort of box-like shape to it with these parts here, with square sort of parts, angled, with this very light material here in the middle, and then some weird details down below. Let's go a bit closer. There it is. Really, really strange. This is unlike anything I've seen, actually. I've seen lots of wreckage. I've shown lots of wreckage and weird objects. But this one's really quite strange because it has these parts on top. 1, 2, and 3. They look like little windows or something. Very odd. Now, this is a long way off, and is right up here. Now, in this pan, the left one's at the top, right at the bottom. I always do left at the top, right at the bottom. It's best to look at the left one. I think the left one's slightly clearer, and they're all up here. There's also a statue and another thing here, but that wreckage is right over this side here, and you need a magnifier for this, but you can see it pretty clearly just there. The statue, the main one, we have here. Now, if you follow me on X and Facebook, you would have seen this already. This is strange, and it's not unlike the one I showed in a previous video. It's made from the same sort of material. Obviously, it's cut from what looks like very bright sandstone, and it depicts some kind of alien. Now, I don't know what type of alien this is. This is probably damaged, this statue, but you can see an eye here and a mouth. Let's look at the larger one. I'll go in a bit closer. There we are. You can zoom right into this. There we are, look. We've got an eye here, and we have a clear mouth with lips, a chin here, and we've got these weird sort of patterns up here on the top here. Maybe a reptoid or some kind of other weird depiction of some other strange creature. It's almost kind of fish-like. Just below the eye, there's like this weird sort of, almost like a gill or something. Very strange indeed. And what's cool about this one is that right next to it, to the right of it, here's that statue in context, right? There it is there. Just behind it and up to the right, we have this thing here. But you can see an eye there, like a beak sort of thing here. Is this a reptile or bird or something? I don't know. There's also this weird wreckage down here. This is really strange, this thing. We have parts overlapping each other, and kind of this weird object here. This looks metallic, some of this stuff. And then this weird kind of colourful material here, which comes down, and it looks like a sort of beard hanging down or something, like a statue or something. I don't know if it is. There's not really enough detail on this to tell, really. We're not close enough. It's very weird. And there's just some really strange formations as well. This was one of my favourites. This thing right at the top here, sticking out to the side, to the left there, I think is actually behind. I'll show you with the magnifier. But this kind of pointed bit is attached to this. Really strange. Now, could this be part of a statue or structure that's broken? I don't know. This is the most interesting one out of all of these, I think, because it looks like a technical object. Now, what this actually is another matter. But if you can see rectangular parts with parts inside, like we have on top, then that says technical object. It's quite reflective, and when you sort of enhance the contrast, it goes very bright. This looks like metal. There's that statue again. Here's a negative of that statue. You can see the eye really clearly here, where my cursor is, and the mouth there with the lips. Very strange, but the interesting thing is it's very similar to the statue I showed in the previous video. It's about the same size and it's the same type of rock. So they're using the sandstone to carve from because it's easier to cut. It looks like anyway. Okay? When you wet sandstone, you can cut it or chip away at it much easier. There's that bird or lizard-like thing. Now, this may not be a statue at all. This may actually be a sort of petrified skull or something. Let's have a quick look at this one. This is the one I just uploaded, 1560. Another statue. At least one, maybe two or three. This is less than a foot tall. I would say only about 7 inches, maybe less. And a pretty clear pointed head with 2 eye sockets, a nose and a mouth, but it's quite eroded. And there's not a great deal of detail in it. It's pretty soft edged where it's been eroded away. Okay, but you can see what it is. I mean, it's not dissimilar to some I've shown before. Some of them look pretty weird. Some of them that definitely do not look human. I've shown probably well over 100 statues and sphinxes and things like that so far. Animals and beings, I would say. Some are quite human looking and some are very unhuman looking. And this is definitely one of those unhuman ones. There's this weird thing here. I don't know if this is anything significant really. This has got this weird part to it here. We got these parts at the bottom. Let's go back a bit like that. It's just weird. This looks like wreckage. You got these technical looking parts at the bottom there, which join these 2 sides up here. Very odd. There's lots of stuff like that in this image, and there's another weird thing here. Now, I don't know what this is either, but it looks a bit like a helmet with some remains inside, perhaps. It's got a hand-like structure with fingers on top here, and then this thing comes round. But it looks like a bit like a nose here, or a nose guard coming down, and an eye behind that. There's a little statue here, a really small one, which is broken, just here. You've got 2 eyes, a nose, and a mouth with sort of jagged features in the mouth. And what looks like would have been a horn sticking up. There probably was another one on the other side. But basically, you can't zoom any further because this is literally only about 3 or 4 inches in size, maybe 5 at the most. A face does have symmetry, left-right symmetry, and random rocks don't, generally. So, you know, even if they look a bit weird, just because they're weird, doesn't mean they're not real. This is Mars after all, and there's some very, very strange things here. It's probably less than 20 feet away, so that's probably about 8 inches, maybe 9. I would say between 6 and 9 inches or something. So it's kind of human-sized. So come to my channel, check out the playlist. There are hundreds and hundreds of artifacts like this. Not just UFOs above the rover in Gale Crater, but things like dinosaur remains and weird carvings and weird fossils and strange structures seen from the ground, but also in satellite images. We have whole cities, we have giant trees and plants and all sorts of crazy plants and weird objects on the ground seen from space, which are enormous, like these giant plants here, which were recently confirmed by ChatGPT and Grok. People uploaded clips of these and they both confirmed that they were probably organic structures. Okay, so they're giant plants. That's probably what they are. Now, there's also loads and loads of other things you can check out on my channel. If you're new to this channel, suspend your disbelief until you've at least seen some of the other evidence that I have. So, thanks for watching. I will see you soon.